fun science, fun science, fun science, it's a science of fun, yeah.
Today we will be talking about acids and bases in everyday life. Hello and welcome to Acids and Bases with your host, Anna Alexanian, me. Today we will be talking about acids and bases, specifically in everyday life. Did you know that acids and bases are everywhere? They're beside you, behind you, in front of you, and even in you. Today we will be learning about antacids, metal etching, the pH scale, and much more. Let's begin. So as all good things start, let's have a song.
Well, acids and bases, now why should you care? 'Cause acids and bases are everywhere. You put them on salads and they get in the rain. They settle your tummy and clean out your drain. So the next time you're sitting under some shade and you're sipping a glass full of real lemonade, you'll notice the sour taste and think in your head, I bet it turns blue litmus paper to red. Acids and bases have two different faces, two different personalities, and you gotta find out what they're all about if you wanna learn chemistry.
Well, wasn't that just wonderful? But what are acids and bases? The terms acid and base are used by chemists to categorize chemicals according to their pH. Simply put, an acid is any material that gives up a hydrogen atom in a solution, while a base creates a hydroxide ion in a solution. Let's commence with our first topic, shall we? What are antacids? Antacids are drugs used to treat conditions such as heartburn, which are caused by the hydrochloric acid that is produced by the stomach. The acid is produced by the stomach to break down proteins. This acid has a pH level of 2 or 3. The stomach and esophagus have a natural protective lining, and when there is too much acid in the stomach, various symptoms will arise such as abdominal pain and heartburn. Now, how do antacids work? Well, antacids lower acidity by neutralizing the acid, reducing the acidity in the stomach, and therefore relieving the symptoms caused by excessive amounts of acid. When antacids are taken on an empty stomach, the antacids reduce the acidity for only 20 to 40 minutes. However, when taken about an hour after a meal, the antacids are much more effective and reduce acidity for at least 3 hours. This is because the antacid is not as effective when it rapidly enters the stomach, as it would on an empty stomach. What kind of antacids are there? There are 3 types of antacids. There are the aluminum carbonate antacids, which are used to treat high levels of acid in blood. The calcium carbonate antacids, which lower acidity along with treating calcium deficiency. And last but not least, magnesium oxide antacids, which lower acidity and treat magnesium deficiencies. Now what are the dangers of taking antacids? Well, there are a few risks that come hand in hand with taking antacids. They can cause acid rebound, which is a condition in which your stomach actually makes more acid to make up for the hard neutralizing work of the antacid. This is not harmful, but it isn't very pleasant for your stomach, or you. It can also cause milk alkali syndrome. Antacids contain aluminum hydroxide, which may cause constipation, aluminum intoxication, osteomalacia, and hypophosphatemia. Antacids that contain magnesium can cause diarrhea and in some patients can increase magnesium levels in the blood. On to our next topic, shall we? Our next topic is metal etching. Now what is metal etching? Metal etching is a process in which pictures, words or symbols are carved onto metals using acid. It is an industrial manufacturing technique, an art technique, and a technique for branding and identifying property. Etching is a technique that has been used by many European artists, including Albert Dürer, Francisco Goya, Rembrandt, and James A. McNeill Whistler. Now, how is metal etching used in art? In an art context, etching falls into the category of intaglio, along with other techniques such as aquatint, dry point, engraving, and mezzotint. It is used to draw things on metal. Acid etching is used because it is the easiest method to get a picture onto metal. Metal etching was first done on iron, but after around 1540, copper etching gained popularity and was used more often. Now, how is metal etching done? The basic metal etching process has 11 steps. First, you have to prepare the photo etching tools. Then you cut the sheets of metal, you clean up the metal, and you coat the metal with the photoresist. Now, the parts of the metal that need to be etched are not covered, so that the acid can get to them. Then you have to expose the metal to the UV light and develop the image. After this, you can conduct a pre-etch inspection to make sure there aren't any bad things that could destroy the acid etching process. Then you etch the metal using ferric chloride. The metal is dipped into acid, and all that is covered is eaten away by the acid, creating lines. This can be done multiple times to get the desired effect. You then have to conduct a dimensional inspection. You remove the resist, and then you finally conduct a visual and dimensional inspection. And lastly, you conduct a visual and dimensional inspection. So what kind of metal etching techniques are there? There are 3 main etching techniques, and they all have different uses. Chemical milling is a technique used in semiconductor fabrication, circuit board printing, and in creating aircraft components. Photochemical etching is a variation of this process. Electrochemical etching is a process that was developed by the automotive industry in the 1940s and is only recently being used in medical technology and art. In this next section of the video, we will be taking a close look at acids and bases in their natural habitats. Let's go. Base spotted. We have to be very quiet. The base is quietly resting. We see Mama Base. Let's see if we can find more. Spotted. Spotted. These 2 must be brother and sister. Looks like it's shampoo and conditioner. Well, wasn't that a wonderful experience? Now we'll try to find an acid in their natural habitat. Let's go. We are approaching the den of an acid. There it is. We shall leave it at peace. Let's see if we can find more. Spotted. Very corrosive. It moved. You can see the label on it. This is a very dangerous acid. It bites and burns. So, what is the pH scale? The pH scale is a scale that ranges from 0 to 14 and determines how acidic a chemical is. Did you know that blood has an acidity of 7.2 and drain cleaner has an acidity of 14? That means it's as basic as can be. Believe it or not, tomatoes have an acidity of 4.5. Quite fascinating, isn't it? Indeed. So what does Canada have to do with all of this? Well, a Canadian article from December 13, 2010 states that high levels of folic acid in pregnant women can reduce birth defects in some, but can cause collateral cancer in others. In this study, researchers examined the blood of 5,248 Canadians. They found that there was no folate deficiency, but 40% of those researched had high levels of folic acid. Also, 22% of women at childbearing age had low folic acid levels. The researchers concluded that the levels of folic acid in Canadian food should be doubled, but later decided that it wasn't absolutely necessary. Well, that concludes our video for today. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did making it.